If you're an introverted husband married to an extroverted wife, you may feel overwhelmed or misunderstood at times. While you must seek solitude to recharge, she's energized by connecting with others. Your kryptonite is her charging station. But what if, rather than pulling you apart, these contrasting energies could help build a closer bond? Hello, I'm Martin from Instruct and Grow. In today's video, we're going to dive into practical ways to understand and support your extroverted wife with your introverted limitations. For those of you who are extroverts and your wife is the introvert, allow these tips to help you better understand her. Now, let's get into the introvert's guide to loving an extroverted wife. Embrace your differences as strengths. When you go out together, does it seem like your wife knows at least one person seemingly everywhere you go? Look at that as a good thing. View her extroversion as an asset in social situations. As introverts, we must generate our energy internally, while extroverts are energized by others. Allow her strength of interactions help you in social gatherings. Rather than feel overwhelmed, just be there with her and enjoy the company. The more you go to social gatherings, the easier it gets. However, when you are at gatherings and need a breather, find a quiet place to retreat to for a little recharge. She's a social butterfly, so allow her to spread her wings with you right by her side. Know your limits, but don't shy away from the opportunity to help your wife satisfy her need to socialize and re-energize. The way you're able to lend a hand is from your introspective nature. As introverts, we're notorious for analyzing and processing information. This perspective will allow you to balance her by providing emotional support in private moments. When the two of you got together, it didn't escape God's attention. He provides each of us with different gifts and talents. Even if you prefer to stay home while she wants to go see the world, God brought you two together for a reason. 1 Corinthians 12 verses 4 through 6 says, "Now there are different gifts, but the same Spirit. There are different ministries, but the same Lord. And there are different activities, but the same God works all of them in each person." You complement each other. While you keep her grounded, she makes sure you don't remain underground. Communicate openly about your needs. Think about the last social event you went to. Did you get a bit of anxiety with the mere thought of going? Most introverts do. It's not necessarily about being surrounded by others. It's more along the lines of conversing with people you barely or don't know. Thankfully, that's a problem I've learned to overcome. I did this by studying. I studied myself, materials, and books. I've come to realize that even extroverts can be shy too. Perhaps they just need someone to start the conversation. Plus, the more I learn about various topics, the better I become at being able to relate to and understand what others have to say. Starting a conversation with a complete stranger used to terrify me. Now, I can pick up a conversation with just about anyone with little effort. As introverts, the concerns we have are legitimate. The same goes for people who get anxiety attacks. But we don't have to go into these social gatherings blindly. At the beginning of our marriage, my wife and I went to many gatherings. She had a lot of friends who loved having her over, and they wanted to get to know me better. For me, it was a lot of work and it was very stressful. But for my wife, it was a stress reliever and is rejuvenating for her. The first few were okay because our relationship was new. But as time went on, we'd get into these arguments because she'd want to stay a lot longer than I was comfortable with. To help us with that problem, we agreed on a code for when I'd had enough and was ready to go. The code was quite simple. I'd whisper in her ear, "Okay, I'm ready to go." When I was at my limit, I'd say that and she'd start saying her goodbyes. Not sure if it's just because she's a social butterfly or Puerto Rican, but it usually took her about half hour to finish saying bye to everyone. It's important to have conversation with your wife ahead of time. Let her know that those situations drain your energy. Don't refuse to go. That could cause resentment and more problems. But have an agreement before you even leave the house. Your agreement could be a time limit, posturing, or a code or phrase you'd say to let her know you've had enough and are ready to leave. And it's good to get out of your comfort zone from time to time. It will help you grow out of your comfort shell. Ephesians 4 verse 29 says, "Do not let any unwholesome talk come out of your mouths, but only what is helpful for building others up." So before you go, come to an agreement in love and stick to it together. Find balance in social activities. Not every weekend has to be a time to go out. There are many things you can do together at home, both in and out of the bedroom. In my article, Date Night Ideas to Keep the Romance Alive, I provide a number of date night ideas you can do at home. I created a video for this as well. I'll link to both of them in the description below. Examples include making it a movie-themed night or having a romantic dinner in the backyard. You're married to an extrovert, which means even though you're perfectly content staying at home with a full tank of energy, she's probably chopping at the bit to get out because her tank is nearly empty. When I'm working from home and need to run to the store, I just want to get there, get what I need, and get out again. I know it won't be long, but sometimes my wife wants to go with. She'll say she needs to get out of these four walls. Even when she's not ready to leave and I'm halfway out the door, I'll wait for her. It gives us a chance to be together and allows her to put some energy in her tank. Philippians 2:4 says, "Do not merely look at your own personal interest, but also the interests of others." Another suggestion might be to have a small group of friends over for a game night or Bible study. These smaller gatherings will energize your wife while not depleting you. This shows the value of working together in areas that challenge you both by creating a balanced approach to socializing. It's a win-win. Show love in her preferred language. We each have a certain way of learning for retention, whether it's visual, hands-on, etc. Likewise, we have our own way of showing and receiving love. In Dr. Gary Chapman's book, The 5 Love Languages, he breaks down the various ways we speak and understand love. It's a language we individually understand best. My wife's primary love language is acts of service. So buying her gifts or showing her affection doesn't weigh as heavily as completing a task or chore for her. When deciding to participate in an activity, consider those that excite her. Whether that's going to a concert in the park, an evening event at art gallery, visiting the mall for a couple of hours, or a day-long road trip. Whatever it is, do something that's exciting for her and makes her happy, even if it's not your preference and requires you to get out of your comfort zone. It might feel challenging at first, but making an intentional effort to join her in activities she loves shows your commitment and builds lasting appreciation. 1 John 3 verse 18 says, "Dear children, let us not love with words or speech, but with actions and in truth." Also, consider inviting some friends to the event with you, ones that you both enjoy to have around. They'll excite her and it won't feel like you're surrounded by strangers. Plus, there's no good reason to cause undue stress by inviting that couple. Set healthy boundaries for recharge time. Even the most outgoing introverts need time alone. Not as much as introverts, but they still need it. Just as a gas tank has a fuel limit before it overflows. When it comes time to recharge, it's important to communicate about requirements and boundaries. If you're a morning person, events at night can be overly exhausting. Your body is already shutting down for the night. so you're tired and being asked to utilize energy you don't have. For morning folk, evenings are our ideal time to just veg at home and recharge. Conversely, if you're a night owl, your energy is ramping up as the day moves into the evening and nighttime. You might find that you seek solitude in the early to mid-afternoon. And there are times a recharge is necessary before or after planned events. Make sure to plan for these beforehand. Whether you're an introvert or an extrovert, you need some time to recharge and relax. It's important to recognize that. And introverts typically require a little bit more. This allows you to be your best self, both as an individual and in your marriage. In Mark chapter 6, verse 31, Jesus said to them, "Come away by yourselves to a remote place and rest for a while." For many people were coming and going, and they did not even have time to eat. The Bible tells us Jesus encouraged his disciples to rest, retreat, and recharge. As married couples, set aside time to be alone to help recharge your relationship and responsibilities. Create a schedule if necessary, but it's imperative to take that time for yourself and your marriage. Celebrate each other's growth. Growth is essential as an individual and in a relationship. As an introvert-extrovert couple, you face both challenges and opportunities that others don't. Celebrating small wins can bring the two of you closer, foster mutual appreciation, and develop strong gratitude toward one another. A small win might be when your wife acknowledges and respects your boundaries by joining you in a quiet activity. It's also a small win when she encourages you to attend a social event without any pressure. Likewise, celebrate when you join your wife at events outside your comfort zone and stay without complaining. Focus on at least one area where you've seen a positive change. Growth is essential in any marriage, and as an introvert-extrovert couple, your differences can create unique opportunities for learning and transformation. Celebrating these challenges can bring you closer, fostering mutual appreciation and gratitude. 1 Thessalonians 5:11 says, "Therefore, encourage one another and build each other up, just as in fact you are doing." Remember to tell your wife how much you appreciate her patience with your introverted needs. And thank her for supporting and loving you. Share how much you value her social strengths. Let her know of the positive impact they have on your life and marriage. Take time together each month to reflect on ways you both have grown. Recognize how God is using your differences to shape one another. And write each other notes about something you appreciate in the other person's personality. Explain how it has blessed your life. And Proverbs 16 verse 24 says, "Gracious words are a honeycomb, sweet to the soul and healing to the bones." Being married to an extroverted wife has really brought me out of my introvert shell. Don't get me wrong, I still have my hermit tendencies, but I'm more willing and able to get out of my comfort zone and mingle with the best of them. Finally, remember that God creates introverts and extroverts with a purpose. Embracing your unique traits can deepen your relationship and strengthen your marriage. Thanks for watching, and I hope this video has inspired you to keep building a strong, Christ-centered marriage. If today's message has inspired you, share it with a friend who might also be navigating the joys and challenges of an introvert-extrovert marriage. Together, we're building stronger, faith-driven relationships. But you don't have to walk this journey alone. Visit www.instructandgrow.com for more resources made just for you. Again, I'm Martin, and until next time, keep leading your family with love, faith, and joy. God bless.